All right, guys, welcome back to the Paranormal Review, and we have every host here today.
Hey guys, it's Drew Bigfoot, Dissector Inspector.
Hey guys, Dan the Bigfoot Man is here.
Gary Scary.
And today we're actually going to have a special guest appearance with an interview who recently had an experience with a Sasquatch up in British Columbia. Graham, are you there?
Yeah. How's it going?
Pretty good. Thanks for appearing on the show. We appreciate it.
Thanks
No
for coming
problem.
out, Graham.
So before we begin, your video is the one that's probably one of the most recent on YouTube, called Sasquatch Sighting near Squamish, August 16th, 2014. And would you mind just giving us a brief rundown on what you were doing up there and when you first saw this creature?
Sure. So it was just me and three friends out for kind of like a camping hike trip. We'd camped the previous night about 6-7 miles away and needed to go on this other hike. So we hiked up to this place called Panorama Ridge, and it was super cloudy, and we didn't really want to go the extra 2-3 miles to the very top, so we just kind of hung out in this clearing. And one of my friends was like, guys, there's something moving over on that mountain. Like, come look at this. And we all looked over, and like this tiny little thing, you could see a lot better than you with your own eyes than you could in the video. And because I had seen that other video of the like similar situation but in the snow, I immediately just took my phone out and started filming it because it looked so similar. And we were just so shocked at like how it was moving, the speed that it was moving down, like the terrain that it was on, and how fast it was going. And then my friend yelled out at it. I don't know why he chose to do that, but it stopped and turned and looked directly at us, and we got like the biggest chills down our spines for about like 5-10 seconds, and then it turned and kept walking on its path. And by that point, it was kind of like going behind a hill, so we couldn't see it. And after I stopped the video, I ran up the mountain to the right to try and like get a better vantage point, looking down into the canyon, and he was gone.
Interesting. So you see the video continues past where we see it.
Yeah, basically, but I stopped it because you can't actually see him anymore, so.
Okay, so that makes sense. So you did run to a different spot and try to get more footage, but it was just kind of a wasted space, so you decided to clip it there.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense now. How big would you say this thing was? I mean, I know it was pretty far away, and how far away would you think it was from where you saw it?
Well, what I mapped out on Google Earth, he was about 0.4 miles away. But it was so hard to tell when we were actually there how far away it was, because you have like the zoom on the camera distorts like your whole scale, and then you have this giant mountain in the background that you don't really know how tall it is, so it's hard to get a sense of scale, especially for that long distance. But yeah, after we got back and I mapped it all out, we were only like 700 yards away, 800 yards away.
And you have a graphic or something you've pulled up, correct?
Yeah, so I'll show you kind of what I've mapped out here. So this is like sitting ground level, looking as you would in the video, and we kind of zoom out a little bit. Oh, get out of this thing.
So you're back where that thumbtack was, or are you guys at a different location?
Yeah, so this is where we were.
Okay, so that's right over here.
That's where he was. So this distance, just under half a mile. And the distance that he covered in the video is roughly around 100 yards, which is pretty fast for, like, he covered it in basically 70 seconds. He stopped for about 10. The video is about 80 seconds long, so
about half a mile.
Covering about 100 yards in 70 seconds down like this rocky glacier. Pretty impressive. And it doesn't really lead anywhere. Like, if he was coming out of this glacier, which is weird, because why would you ever be hiking in this remote glacier by yourself? Coming down this ridgeline and then to a lake, maybe to get water, but there's nothing else out that way. The nearest trail comes around the back and like goes out this way.
Interesting.
Wow, that's crazy, Graham. Hey, this is Gary. It's great to have you on the show. I have a question. So, we get a lot of people that send in their videos, and we interview a lot of people, and they talk about, the chills going up their spine like you described. What were you thinking when that happened? What was your thought process?
We were just so stunned because we're not obviously Sasquatch hunters. So we were just up there for a casual hike, and growing up, you hear like all these stories about Sasquatch, blah, blah, blah. And it's kind of in the back of your mind, like, yeah, that could be real, but probably not. And then when you see something like that with your own eyes, you're like, wow, this is real.
Yeah.
And it was the same reaction for all four of us. We're like so stunned that this kind of epiphany is happening before our eyes. And that's kind of why we were just standing there yelling the F word over and over again.
Wow.
Because we just didn't know what to do. And in hindsight, now, yeah, we probably should have ran after it, because that's what everyone is wondering why we didn't do that. But we were just so stunned.
Well, I mean, you would think that, but I think in reality, in most of these videos that we reviewed, the people that end up chasing after it, most of those are blatant hoaxes, because you got this really scary big creature, and like you said, you got these chills up your back. Are you really going to go chasing after something that's that scary, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, at the time, it didn't seem scary at all to us. Probably because he was so far away, and if we got close enough to be able to discern like whether it actually was a Sasquatch, we'd probably like still have a safe distance between us. It never felt like threatening, but definitely when he stopped and turned and looked at us, we were all like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
So you said that you've seen videos before of something similar to this.
Yeah, is that video in the same? Is this in the same location exactly, or is it a little bit different?
I don't know exactly where that location was, but I know it's in the general area.
I was just gonna ask, when you first saw the creature, did you like think, oh, it's got to be a Sasquatch, or were you just curious as to what it could be and trying to figure out what it was, or what was going through?
At first, I was like, that has to be a person. Like, it looks like it's about the same size, if maybe a bit bigger. But like, it never was like Sasquatch right away. And then as we were watching it, like cover this ground, and the way it was walking, like you can't tell as much in the video, but you can really see like the lankiness that he was walking in, like such a smooth manner, but still like straight upright. And like, I don't know if that's a person. Like, I think this could be something else.
Yeah, gotcha.
In that last video from, I think, like, that was about 3 or 4 months ago, a lot of people are saying that that's probably just a moose or a wolf. Or is it possible that this is something like that, a four-legged creature that was just running pretty fast, so it looked like it was taking big strides? Or
No,
is it
absolutely not. Like,
no?
In real life, you could easily see that he was up on 2 feet, and like you could see arms swinging like a normal like upright walk. So
Okay, so
there's
this,
no way it could be a bear or a moose.
so it clearly had some limbs moving. It's not like a big boulder rolling down a hill or something like that either.
No, not at all.
Awesome. Graham, I'm trying to get a perspective on how big this creature was. You said because of the conditions, it was a little hard to tell the distance, like how far away it was and everything. But if I asked you, what would you say like an estimated height of this creature was?
Yeah, it is really hard to ballpark that. Like, he could have been anywhere from 6 feet on average to maybe a little bit bigger, 7 feet.
Wow.
But it's really hard to tell from that distance.
All right, Graham, I got to ask you a tough question.
All right.
And this is something we ask everyone in interviews, but you guys didn't go out there and just hoax this thing, right?
No, absolutely not.
Right.
And I think like what the guy who posted it, Shade, on his account, said was, if we were going to hoax it, we would have done a way better job of getting like quality video. And like, we're all artists and like creative types, so we would have set it up a lot better and not just stood there stunned.
Yeah, maybe got a little closer if it was a hoax.
Yeah.
How many people were with you again?
It was me and 3 others.
Okay. Are you guys all in accordance, kind of, that it was pretty much possibly a Bigfoot, or are you guys kind of divided? Some people may think it's a bear. What
No, pretty much right away we were all like, that is a Sasquatch. Like, after that and the hike down, it was all we were talking about. Like,
that is awesome.
So
trying to figure out what that was that we just saw. But yeah, we all are pretty much set that it's not human.
Did you make it all the way back down the hill before sundown, or did you spend another night on this hill, or did you spend a night at all over here in these mountains?
No, we had to hike down that day because we didn't have any lights or like camping gear. We had our camp set up like 7 kilometers away.
Okay.
So we had to hike back down, and then the next day we had to hike another 9K back to our car. So it's kind of like poor timing. It happened when it did, because if we had an extra hour or two, we definitely would have gone down to where it was and like kept 2 guys where we were to get the scale of how big he was, how fast like he could have covered that ground in. But we just didn't have the time in that day.
Okay. And considering what you've seen up there, are you guys planning on going back up there anytime soon, or is it something that doesn't bother you?
Yeah, we've all said that we want to go back as soon as possible. So I don't know, we're thinking maybe the second week of September to try and get back up there before it starts snowing too, because once October hits, it's kind of really snowy up there.
Okay, so you real quick, let's backtrace this really fast. You said that when you were filming it, when it ran down there, you moved to a different location. Where was that location?
Yeah, so if we were here, because when you're zoomed in like this like part of the hill would have blocked where he went down this way.
Mm-hmm.
So I ran up this mountain this way to try and get a better vantage point from this angle, but he was gone, or I couldn't see him anymore.
Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out where he could have gone. I mean, that's a pretty big area. I guess he could have gone behind this hill over here to the left, and then he could have blocked where he could have gone behind the glacier. So who really knows? But it's definitely interesting. In the video, you can't see this lake down here. Is that frozen, or is that water? Like,
no, it's water.
It's water.
Like a runoff from this glacier.
Okay.
And this little ridge line that he's walking down is actually like a river that feeds into this little lake. Okay,
because that was one of my criticisms as well. If you remember that, what's this Bigfoot doing on the top of a huge mountain in the middle of nowhere? And I didn't see any water. That was one of the things. Well, Bigfoots need water, right? Or other animals that need water. And this kind of makes that point clear, because maybe if he's up here and that is the water source, is these glacier runoff.
Yeah, and that's another reason why, like, you would never have a person hiking this random glacier by herself with no discernible gear or like colors or anything in the middle of nowhere around no trails. Like, yeah, you're half a mile from a trail here, but you're not going in the direction of any trail.
Interesting. Do you have any more questions?
I think it's all wrapped up.
Yeah, if you get the chance, try to go out there and get some prints.
Yeah, get another video if you can.
Do you live around in this area, or was this vacation?
No, we live like an hour from here, so we just kind of drove up for a weekend camping trip.
If you guys ever go back up there, we would love to have one of you guys go down there and take some pictures of that person from the same perspective, to get like a more of a perspective on how tall or big that creature actually was.
Yeah, for sure, we're gonna do that.
Awesome. Let us know when you do, because we'll love to host you guys again and maybe get more of you guys on.
Yeah, thanks, Graham.
All right, thanks for your send-in, Graham.
Thanks a lot for being on the show. Is there anything else? What's the YouTube channel again? Just real quick.
I think it's Elephant Room Creative.
Okay, perfect. We'll share that again in the link down here below this interview as well. So.
Okay.
All right, thanks for watching, everyone. That was Graham with the latest Bigfoot sighting. And, when we first saw this, we were pretty skeptical, but Graham seems like an honest guy, and clarified a lot of our concerns up. Who knows if it really is a Bigfoot or if it's a misidentification. I don't think it's a hoax any longer, but it definitely becomes a lot more realistic. Actually, this probably becomes one of my top 10 sightings that could be real, actually, after this interview and the following information that we have received. Unless we're just being really, really hoaxed by a really good hoaxer. But I think this clarifies a lot of those questions that a lot of people have commented on. So anyways, guys, until next time, please subscribe. And if you have any footage you'd like us to review yourselves, any pictures or any other paranormal events, let us know, and we'll review that for you.